In a room filled with figures, a peculiar sight, collectors adore boxes with all their might. While dolls and statues gather some dust, it's the boxes that truly ignite their lust. Each box stands pristine, without a nick. Collectors admire them, it's almost a trick. Figures are fine, they say with a shrug, but look at this box, they exclaim with a hug. The figures are lovely, with colors so bright, but the boxes are perfect, not a flaw in sight. Edges so sharp and corners so square, the figures, they're sure, can't quite compare. Oh, this one's mint, they whisper with glee. And this box, oh, just look and you'll see. The figures inside might be rare, it's true, but without the box, what's a collector to do? In this silly world where boxes reign supreme, collectors chase cardboard? It's more than a dream. Figures might be the stars, but in this odd race, it's the boxes that holds everyone's heart in first place.
You can see the writing on the pavement.
I'm sorry, I can't believe it, but the community has finally done it. You have got me to snap and to finally break because I just cannot deal with this anymore. So today you are getting a brand new video, perhaps the finale of the box saga, because we have got to bring this to a head. I recently got into a lot of hot water when I showed some reels and some TikToks of me throwing my boxes out. Well, let me rephrase that. Not just throwing my boxes out, but taking them to the recycling center and doing the right responsible thing for the environment. And people pushed back on that. But then the big one was when we had a nice little rainstorm and I decided, hey, this might be good for some reels and for some content. And I left my Hot Toys boxes outside in the rain and turned that into a reel. And of course, people lost their mind and said that I was crazy. But I said, you know what? We have got to get to the point to where the boxes no longer mean and are worshipped pretty much as the figure. Now, before we get into that, I know so many people will say, but you don't understand. I'm paying a high premium for these collectibles and the art box and all that is a part of the presentation. Well, who said that? Who decided that that's the way it's going to be? Did you know that we as the collecting community can change that narrative by ourselves if you want to? If you're tired of stressing out about all the boxes, you know, you don't have to make it as big as a deal as everyone else is. So the power is in your hands. And we'll talk about that some more in just a quick second. But as always, if you are new to this channel and you like this type of content, if you like rants, if you like me just completely going off script, like I am today, make sure to give me a like on this video. Let me know down in the comments. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. We've hit a little bit of a wall recently when it comes to our subs. So let's get that back up and going. I would certainly appreciate it. But let's talk about this idea of the box and the worship behind it. I decided today that I was going to go undercover, and we'll look at that in just a quick second, because so many people, when I went ahead and threw my boxes out, recycled them, whatever you want to call it, so many people said, why don't you just sell the boxes? There's a huge market for that. So we're going to look at that and see if that's true and if it's worth my time or not. But I started thinking about this in my last video when I ended up doing which was my last video, because I did the confessions and then I ended up doing the, intrusive thoughts. That's right. I was waiting for it to pop back in there. But the intrusive thoughts about how we as collectors get so obsessed about what could happen with market value, with damage to our figures, that we do not live in the moment and we do not have a long-term perspective of our collecting. Now, I know already that there are plenty of people out there that say I am no one to talk. And you're right, I do not have any place or any stake in this race other than my collection itself. So I'm gonna do what I want with my collection. But there's so many people that get bent out of shape and say, you're not the voice for the 1/6 community. Who are you to be the moral conscience? Who are you to talk down to us? Who are you to fearmonger? I don't care. I'm just saying that we have the opportunity to do away with a lot of intrusive thoughts. And if you want to see an intrusive thoughts part 2 video, I know some people were asking about that. Let me know down in the comments. But let's get back to this. The idea of thinking so far down the line about what's going to happen when I sell these things. Who cares? And why do you have to sell them? And why is that even in our mindset of, oh, what is going to happen when I have to? I thought we were collectors. Do you collect, or do you just hoard for when you have to sell and move it on? Are we too fickle in what it is that we collect to where we say, oh, I have to hold on to this because what if I have to sell it later on? What am I going to do? Who said you had to sell it? Why are you even thinking about selling it? If you bought it with the expectation to have to sell it later on, why did you get it in the first place? Because as I said, we, the collecting community, hold the key to whether or not the boxes mean anything. So if you're so worried about whether or not you're going to have resale value, then let's stop and talk about that for a second. Why? Why do you care so much about what could happen in the past? Well, if I get a medical bill, if I get a car accident, if I do, whatever it is. Answer that question. Why do we care so much about the what ifs? Let's focus on the now and enjoy all this. We have so many cool things that we can take a look at, and it's almost become a side hobby to worry about the marketplace value. And I understand people want to buy things that aren't worthless. That's why they're collectible in the first place. I get all that. But the real question is, why are we so fixated on it? So as I've said, and we're going to get into this idea about the boxes here in just a second, and hopefully bring this to a head and just be done with it. You decide whether or not we as a community will accept the idea that figures have to have the boxes. Who said that overall? Where is it written that this is the edict, that if you have a figure, you must sell it with a box for maintain maximum value? Now, the common argument naturally is well, by doing so, you get top dollar because the seller that's buying your piece will know with a peace of mind that they're getting everything that came with the figure because it fits in all the trays, blah, blah, blah. Fine, sure, that's fine. But we have normalized that, and we as a community have made it to where the boxes are more worshipped than the figures, because as I said, everyone is looking down the road for the resale option, and we need to remove that from our equations. Let's be done with that. That is foolish talk. We are collectors, everybody. It is time to collect the figures and stop worrying about what's coming up in the future. If you are of the mindset, I just need to protect myself for the inevitable in the future, then this may not be the hobby for you. Because I don't think there is anyone who ever said, okay, I'm going to get into this with the plan of selling them. Because if that's the case, as I've told you before, if you're looking for financial upticks, figures is not it. Statues is certainly not it. So this idea that we have to hold on to this box has to die. We got to do away with that. But let's say that you finally make that commitment. And I'm so proud of all the messages that I've gotten from so many people said, hey, I saw you do this. It gave me the idea to go and do it. And I finally did it. And I feel so much better. My wife is happy. My family's happy. I got my storage back. I'm not paying $200 a month to keep empty boxes. I saw that today, actually, when I was scrolling through some Reddit or some Facebook posts, someone saying, I'm spending $200 a month to keep empty boxes. What should I do? Do what I did. Throw them out. Recycle them, sell them if that's what you want to. But that is what we're talking about today, because I said, okay, for everyone saying there's a market for it, let's resell these things and get some money back. Is it worth my time? Because that's what I wanted to say. And this is not a flex, but I had 400 boxes, give or take, that I had to figure out what to do with. Now, the natural thing to do would be say, I need to figure out the quickest way to get them out. And that's what I did. I went through and made sure every accessory was put in the right little box, as you saw. I buy those little tackle boxes. Everything goes in there. And then that's that. Then I wanted to make sure that I had all the bases situated. I have a big box for bases because I don't use bases for everything. And so I have my boxes of bases and I have my boxes of my accessories. And that was it. And from then on out, I said, okay, what do I want to do? I took all the plastic pieces out, separated that, and all the box pieces, cardboard, plastic, took them to the recycling center. Done. We are done with it. But so many people said, you could be getting so much money for this. And so let's do a little math. Crunch these numbers, okay? Let's say I had 400 boxes, okay? So 400 units to be able to do something with. That means I would have to list every single one of them, potentially, unless you're a local comic book person or a store, or if you're selling locally. I just don't think selling the box makes a lot of sense, because here is why. you will not make anything worth your time if you're doing more than one or two. And I decided to go undercover today to take a look at it. We went to our local post office as well as UPS so we could get an idea of the competition out there. And I'm going to take a look at our eBay sold listings to see if these boxes are even selling. And then we're going to do the math. And then you can decide what to do with the boxes. And then after that, we're done. So everybody, this is our rallying cry. As a community, let's be done with the boxes, because we decide if we as a community stop saying, hey, I don't need the box anymore, it eventually will go away. And then it'll just be the figures, because that's the way it should be. The figures are what we collect, not the boxes. And if you completely disagree with me, let me know that too. That's fine. Do it respectfully, and I'll make sure to respond to you as well. I love the comments in our sections. So let's go ahead. We're going to go and put on our disguise, and we're going to go undercover. It's not really a disguise. I just walked up there and hid the camera. So let's take a look at these things, and then we're going to look at eBay, and we'll come up with an answer.
So the two items I'm going to be shipping, one has the plastic inside, that is this Game of Thrones figure, and then the other one does not. It's literally just the box, and this is an old Captain America figure. So I'm going to load those up, and I'm going to take them to my local post office and do a quick search to see what they cost to ship. I was wondering, I got a bunch of these I'm trying to send to my mom. I'm trying to figure out what it would cost to send that. Are we able to figure that out?
How many are you looking to send?
Like 10 of them. But yeah, I pack each one a little bit differently. And I'm trying to figure out what it would cost to send them to that address, if that's okay. Sorry. Whatever the best.
How close are they in weight?
That's what I don't know. Some of them has plastic inside, some don't. So I don't know. Saturday for 10/10. Okay.
Is this one, yes.
Okay. And then this one would be, and I guess I'll know what is the heavier one, right?
Same price.
So pretty much the same thing. Okay, cool. So it doesn't matter how I pack them in. So 10/10 by Saturday if I bring them all in today?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect, that's all I needed to know. Thank you, friend. Our next stop would be my local UPS store. And yes, they were very busy today, but we still got our answer. I'm trying to ship like 10 of these to my mom, and just trying to figure out what it would cost to ship to this address. Each one, this one's packed a little different than the other. I'm just trying to figure out what the cheapest option is for them, if that's a possibility.
What's in the boxes?
They're just actual boxes. They're art boxes for like figures.
So they're empty,
They're empty boxes, yeah.
but it's $14.52.
$14.52.
Saturday, which is
Okay.
the day after tomorrow.
Gotcha. So a couple days to get there, $14.52. 14 bucks still?
It's going to be $14.52 either way.
Okay.
So
depending
either way-
when we
either way
ship
you
them.
do it, it's not really going to matter.
Okay, perfect. So whatever's the easiest option for me will work.
Yes.
Okay. So $14.52, if I bring them back today, then be there by Saturday.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's what I need, my friend.
All right.
Thank you so much. So now we officially know that USPS is going to be the best option. So I'm going to use this postage price calculator to see what it would take to ship to California, because at the end of the day, you're going to end up paying some more. So we're going to set it for the same date, around the same drop-off time, so that we can see where it is. And we're going to be using the required ground transportation so that we get our accurate prices. If you want to use a flat rate box and break it down, I mean, you do have that there, but it still will be more expensive. So we're going to calculate this based on the amount that UPS actually told me how much it weighed when they did, as well as the official package dimensions. So we'll click on here once we've added our pounds in, and we're going to put the length, height, and weight in. Now this is your typical Hot Toys box, 15 by 10 by 6, and once we computate everything out, we're going to see that it's going to cost around $15 to ship it all the way from Tennessee to California. So you're going to want to keep that into consideration. But the big question is this actually worth selling? Are people actually buying these things? So I went to eBay, because it's the biggest marketplace out there, and typed in Hot Toy boxes only. And you can see there's a lot of boxes available. Like people said, there's a market for it, potentially. But there's a lot of things that are just sitting here. And you have some rare items, such as this Obi-Wan Kenobi. People are asking $80 for that. You have this Anakin. People are asking $50 for that, with free shipping. But the main deal is that you're going to want to see if these are actually sold. So we're going to click over on the sold items. We're going to filter that out over on the left-hand side. Some of these are running really cheap, and we'll talk about that. But once you click on your sold items, you will see Okay, this was sold literally just the other day. One of the Joker exclusive figures for $35 and $9 shipping. That seems about right for the shipping as we saw. But you go down here and you see this was a couple days ago, $25 for a best offer or free shipping. When it says best offer, you don't know what they actually offered. You know, it's $34.99, best offer once again, plus the $18 shipping. So they're trying to cover the shipping, but once again, we don't know what that best offer was. We know that it was at least $35, but most likely it probably was less.
All right, so we've taken a look at all the stats. So let's crunch a few numbers here. Let's say, and be generous, that you're going to get $25 per box, which who knows if that's true? Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. Let's just say $25, okay? Mix in that 30% fee from eBay, and you have now went down to having to give up 7.5 of that 25. So that takes you down to $17.50. Now you say, oh, that sounds pretty good to me. Whoa, don't forget about shipping. Well, what about those ones that pay free shipping? Now you're completely out. But let's say that you're going to do free shipping, minus the $10 or so to ship it if I'm going kind of mid-state, $15 if I'm going to ship it all the way to California. I have lost any profit margins and potentially making like $7-8 per box. Now I ask you, is that worth it to you? To me, no. It is simply not. Now, if you have all the time in the world and you want to go through all of that by unboxing, putting the pictures online, whether that be eBay, Mercari, Reddit, you still have to take the time to post it. Then you have to wait for someone to actually buy it. Then you have to go and load it up and take it to the post office or UPS. By the time you've done all of that, is that worth $7.50 to you? Maybe it is. Well, you say, well, I got 40 boxes. 40 times 7.5, that's almost $300. Sure. Is that worth it though to you? Do you want to spend potentially upwards of a 40-hour work week preparing all these boxes? That's for you to decide. But to me, I think even selling the boxes, unless, here's my only caveat, unless it is a local pickup and someone saying, I'm willing to drive to your house and pick that bitch up, you do not need to be selling it because it's just not worth it in the end. There is no money to be made selling the boxes. But am I crazy? Let me know. Let me know down in the comments. Well, there it is, everybody. As we officially went undercover, we saw exactly how much it costs to ship. Then we decided how much it's going to actually profit us. And as you saw, it is not worth my time. It may be worth it for you. And if that's the case, let me know. Will you be selling your boxes? Is that worth it to you? Let me know down in the comments. But that's going to do it for us here today, as we took a look at this idea of the finale of the box saga, because it needs to end. I'm done talking about the idea of boxes. I'm so done with that. And you will be happy if you just go ahead and get them out of your life too. So that's it. As I said, if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, I would certainly appreciate it. If you made it all the way through, you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed the poem at the beginning, make sure to give me a like and a sub for that. I worked hard. I hope you enjoyed it. But that's going to do it. I will be seeing you in our next video.